What's good? You're rocking with hashtag CommenterNation. You could say Czar and CommenterNation, whatever fancies you. Czar, all rights reserved. That's who I am. Now let's talk about this real quick because I want to bring it out to build up for the week again to another glorious weekend that we have ahead of us. John and Solo. That's what we're going to call you. John and Solo. How could John and Solo have affected this situation? We spoke briefly about a behind the scenes effect. Now, I've finished going through the Reddit comments, and a lot of comments weren't pertaining to the situation because I presume it hadn't happened yet. But John and Solo, let's talk about the album that is built from Tentacion's final masterpiece. Let's say it that way. John and Solo, what was the real purpose of putting ? Let's discuss it. ? Think of it many different ways. ? Oh, let me add some question marks. Where's the autopsy? Where's the toxicology report ? Where is the people that were allegedly last called in his phone, and why haven't they been addressed or brought up ? Why were the witnesses there, and why weren't the witnesses questioned properly ? Why do we see 4 men that are confused at why they're in that situation playing quiet, but then one gets a grant of around $10,000 to do research on the side, I presume ? Why do we have lack of emotion involved in the situation, but we have a lot of people not speaking up and not pushing to really get the truth ? Why do I see a lot of things going on social media, but it's being pushed to him winning an award and him getting accolades, but none of these superstars are stepping forward to push it to understand what exactly happened and find the person that's responsible for his demise ? Why do I see managers and executive producers speaking so freely in things, but not speaking out about the situation or involving themselves in helping for the situation ? Why do I see that it's not really pushed to a situation where I can examine the evidence and find some logical occurrence of events that lead me to say he is deceased, he was killed this way ? Who was the doctor that signed off on the sheet? Oh, I forgot. There's no doctor ? Why are we getting several different instances of information from Riva Motorsports, but we look back and we see that magazines came out with exact answers, but we see no video of them at the bank ? Who? Now get this one. Who was actually with him? And why don't we see that they're being taken seriously into questioning to figure out what exactly happened? Why are they still pushing forward with these 4 men, but not saying why they addressed them? Neither admitting to them having had the gun blatantly and saying this guy did the shooting in this. But we see a video being released that has men with masks. Well, I presume it to be neoprene masks, ? But parentheses. But at the same time, you're presuming it to be neoprene masks. The 2 men that you brought in that went in the store, how do you connect them to having communicated to the 2 men outside that did that? Nor is there video released of that happening. How that happened? ? Do you see how the masterpiece of this great works into the situation that we're dealing with? Is this by coincidence? I'm not sure. But I have a lot of question marks. That's the thing. So many question marks. Why? Why don't we see the flash on the screen when these guns are allegedly fired ? Where are we going with the future if this is the way investigations are done ? How can these artists behave this way when he's gone, but had no respect to link all of these artists, all of them, to link up with him while he was alive ? Where's this media coming from? Where's the award coming from off of the last album when he didn't get the recognition he deserved when he was in the game putting in work. Yet he was making claims about other artists violating his value, question mark. Where's this at? Why do I see certain artists not speaking about it that would we presume to be on his side, question mark? Where's the justice? Broward County, question mark. What was going on behind the scenes with the evidence that you couldn't come out and place it in front of us to say this, this, and this happened? So we're like, okay, that's how it went down. But it seems you guys are having trouble gathering a bill of information? Question mark. What's actually happening? Can someone fill me into what the real concept of what's going on in detail so I understand exactly what's happening, so I can come to some understanding and calm and some level of comfort and the fact that you'll figure out exactly what's happening instead of running down 4 black men and then claiming that it's them, but then hiding video about some witness who ran on and said he saw the last photo and said he had this, this, and that, and he was aware of what was going on, question mark? Question mark. Double question mark. 2 more question marks. What's going on? You know, and hey, this is what John said the real album title was. So we're just asking John questions since, you know, you asked him early before this happened. I'm asking you some more questions. Feel free to hop in CommenterNation and interact with us. Oh, another thing. Why was the manager never brought up? Question mark. I've never even heard about this. And why do I have a video of him calling him a FB? And the B stands for boy. Question mark. What was the reason for that? Is there some type of reason we don't know about? Was there something happening behind the scenes? Was there some type of inkling he had in his heart that this person was no good and he wanted to address it on video? Well, secretly on video because someone was behind him with a camera or some sort of phone and were videotaping everything he was doing when he was trying to eat food because they were too worried about his hair. Was that the hairdresser, question mark? Yeah, he had a hairdresser. I know that. You see all these question marks? I would say it's very fitting to what we're looking at. Would you not agree? Question mark. What exactly am I supposed to conclude from certain individuals acting the way they are? Is it because money's on the line and you want to see where your money, where your part of the money fits in, and you want to be quiet until things go through so you can start making moves, so once people are indicted you're able to do stuff again? And we're going to see what you're saying anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But do you believe that this is the type of thing that makes, let's say, cold cases, question mark? What are you aiming to do? What's really your purpose? Tell every fan and fanatic he has, as well as TheCzarr and CommenterNation, some of them that are stone cold fanatics or fans, as you would say, what exactly are the prime motives? Because now we can say it's money, but really it's royalties. Let's leave it that way, because that's a little bit more in depth than money, because royalties point to a certain source and points to certain people who gets their share that may have been a certain level, but because of this instance may be larger now, question mark? Is that possible? Question mark. I need to understand. I don't really understand it, but ultimately I need to get some type of clarity on what exactly happened that is supposed to leave me with some level of saying, oh, okay. Because I got people who are literally crying and going through it in their life because of how much he meant to them. And they're in CommenterNation. So what do you expect me to say to them that is going to cover that when you guys can't even cover your basis on figuring out who a murderer is? Question mark? Really? Is that the case? I don't know. I'm asking you guys because I just have a lot of question marks. And I just think that's fitting to the situation. Why do I also have people making claims of a setup? But not just a normal setup, but of a setup that is above all setups, that involves multiple masterminds, is which I said. But is that really true? Question mark. Why did the witnesses who were alleged crisis actors, if you are, I don't know, question mark on that, saying and acting as if they understand the whole basis of things, but hopping at me going at me for things they said that I brought up that they said, and they have some type of issue with the fact I said it. What's really going on? Oh, and then I have one of you that said something that I love that day. Question mark? Question mark. You what? Question mark? Who else felt that way? Now, I took the criticism of Dom is Live and what he said that could have been said. He told me. But that wouldn't make sense in the context of the situation that it was said. And if I released it, it would look super crazy. And when I was looking at it again, I was like, wow, can't believe this person said that. Did they really mean it? Question mark. Oh, let's check this out here. That you were really saying this stuff and after you just said many different things. And then I had you saying something previously. And previously when you said it, that's the only thing that would make sense for you to say what you said, because that is the situation and it's not what we think it is, and what we think is not really the situation, and everybody's illusion and diluted because of the different information coming out and the bad investigation and the other people who are being picked up. And by those people being picked up, there's other people who were standing around saying they're no longer there. Question mark? When you had the information that first came out? Question mark? Really? Do you see how fitting this is? Am I going crazy, or does this make sense? Do you get the narrative, or do I have to explain it to you? John, it's called question mark, right? Question mark. That's the name of the last one. Well, what a very fitting and powerful title. What a very fitting and powerful title. You know what? Solo. I need you to hop up and start answering some commenters' questions. Okay? My people have been asking you questions. They've reached out. Or come in CommenterNation or whatever you want to do. We need some questions answered, my dude. Well, you're not my dude. You're their dude, because if you really cared about the someone that they cared about, you would be dudes with everybody who was fans and fanatics and who really cared, because you would have the like feelings that would match to the situation. And in that situation, you would be able to understand how they feel, because you feel the same way. So we wouldn't even have to argue about this point, but you'd be willing to answer questions and understand how they feel, because you're like, don't worry, guys, everything's going to be okay. You know, I really love him. He was good. I'm going to move forward. We're going to move forward. I'm going to make sure to keep his dream alive, his legacy alive. Don't you think that's fitting for a manager? Question mark. Right? How else can I spit it to you? How else can I spit it to you? What else do you need to know? How else do I put it into perspective so you get the big picture? Well, I don't really know, but one thing I can say is that his legacy is going to live. It will. And the one thing that most people aren't going to get is that when all of this is over, when everything's gone, different subjects change, that CommenterNation is going to definitely move forward with different other investigations. But I need to bring this out because there's other things that are hidden in plain sight, and you guys got to understand the way it's hidden and how it works. But here's my thing. Are we going to get justice? Question mark. Well, I think that would be a question for Broward County, but we really don't know if Broward County is going to get the job done, because the way they're playing around with the evidence and the fact that now they don't have a bill of information and they're sitting here trying to get DNA evidence late into the case, when Florida law is another way that they have to get it up front. So how did that work? Question mark. How'd you do that? So what am I not valid about? What am I far off base objectively questioning? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me. And let me put this out there. Thank you, CommenterNation. I appreciate all your comments and everything, but you're what makes this worthwhile. And because you're what makes this worthwhile, that is why I'm willing to give you the production and willing to work with you, not only on this, but other cases that matter, because I have other important things to address. So what am I really supposed to think? Question mark. What am I really supposed to think? Am I really supposed to let that go because you allow investigators to do this, and there are investigators riding around me abusing the law every day, doing different things as they did this morning? But I'm not even going to talk about that, because go ahead and hop out the car and violate me and do that type of stuff, because that's not going to be good for you. But here's my thing. Why all of this now? Question mark. Question mark, question mark, question mark.